Hey, what's up? Welcome to DGenEd. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts like the chart behind me, which is of ACHR Aviation. So this was requested as well as two other, aviation stocks. So I'll be going over those and then I'll be, taking requests and whatnot. So let me know in the live chat which tickers you'd like me to go over. And yeah, happy to throw up some lines on them or go over them in unusual whales, as I do have that now for the next year. So pretty excited about it. And also, if you are new to the channel, I do tend to do ticker requests live every Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern, just going over any tickers that you guys request. Some of them stand out as being excellent trades. Others, hopefully I can, just provide my perspective. But, this is really just me having fun looking at charts. None of it is financial advice, so take it all with a grain of salt. As you know, I just enjoy doing this. And I also should note, too, pretty exciting. Might be flipping over to some crypto, so let me know if there are some tokens, coins, whatever, that you'd like me to go over. Because, yeah, I mean, I think Bitcoin's going to be hitting 100K pretty soon. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened, on Monday. So, yeah, that should be exciting. But anyways, also hope that you guys had a great Thanksgiving holiday weekend. And if you're not from the U.S., hopefully you just enjoyed Americans being a little bit quieter. And yeah, so anyways, I'm just going to get into the charts here. And so I didn't leave any lines up here. I actually removed my drawings for ACHR just because the price is so high. I've really lost track of it. I, had some actually down here and this was actually a really good lesson for me. I had some shares at right around $3, and I was just thinking, oh well, I don't know when it's going to break out or if it even does. It was kind of hanging out down here for a while, and so I sold them at a small profit. But then I was thinking, well, maybe I should have gotten a call. And then since then, I've started tracking options and stuff. And so that was a good lesson for me. If we're not making money, hopefully we're making learning. And so, yeah, learned a good lesson with this one, but, could have, more than 3x'd my position, but I wouldn't have held it this long in all honesty. So no big deal. But yeah, I'm just going to throw up the old drawings. I'm probably going to clear most, if not all of them out, just because, yeah, they're all probably not really that relevant anymore. So let's see. Yeah, this is, the pain of trading is, seeing the ones that you let go. But yeah, and actually this is pretty cool. There's this, actually, I'm just going to delete this Fibonacci retracement. I don't think that's too useful, but what I do like, which I think is really cool, not even this shaded channel. I'm going to delete that, but this parallel channel, look at that. I got the low there. And so that was on, let's see, October 30th of 2023. And then the other low, it looks like, was May 29th of this year. The pivot high more recently was the high from July 16th. And so we've been trading in this channel. I could have drawn adjusted this a little bit to be the tops over here or something. The point is that it has been trading in this channel. And then when it came up to test it, just like over here, got rejected, but here it pulled back and, effectively formed a bull flag here and then broke higher. So that was, and actually, maybe I do want to redraw this because this shows it as getting rejected, but it's quite possible I could draw a line that would suggest that, it broke above and then pulled back and retested. So let's see, just going to make sure y-axis scale is linear. All right. Let's see, that's doing that from the close on that day. So yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's all approximate. And yeah, but I mean, that just looked really good from that pullback. Let's see, it went up 143%. And, you know, like I said, where I had it right around $3. Let's see, I'm not going all the way down there. Right around 3. That's up 223%. So pretty massive. Wish I was holding it from down there, but, you know, I'm not. Oh well, so we'll have to move on. And I'm just going to delete all these other levels down here because I don't think they're too important. Is cool to, I don't know, see if that level here was retested, kind of fake out, broken below before going higher. And so let's see. Yeah, so one thing that I can do with this that I've actually been doing more often, which comes from seeing how the Bronx Viking and Colin Gladman chart. And I just posted one of his videos, Colin's videos, today. He did one last Sunday as well, but he's just been doing Fibonacci extensions. He does them on the log scale, so that's not only the log scale on the y-axis, but also in the Fibonacci extension, which I unfortunately can't do here in Webull, so I'd have to switch over to TradingView to do that. But I just thought I'd do a quick little retracement here. Maybe I can follow up on it later. But yeah, so move up here, pull back, and then there is the 100%. And what I've realized, this is something that I've just recognized from seeing this done on different charts. This is the exact same thing, I believe, as doing a measured move. So taking measurement from the low there to the high, and then moving that to the lows over here. So that should be like the same distance, yeah. And so that's effectively a 100% because that, 100% Fibonacci extension, because it's the same distance from the low here to the high here. But then I could have other levels on there, like the 786, the 618 and whatnot, or going beyond. And maybe that's actually would be useful here, going beyond to include the 1618. Okay, I guess I do have the 1618 on there. It's just a little bit higher. So what this is suggesting to me is that it's possible this could go higher. I would look for, resistance around $12 a share. That is the 1618 from his Fibonacci extension. But it could already be finding a top right around $10. Also, with that being a whole dollar number, being, in the tens place, moving up double digits, I think kind of like a fake out would be to getting to 984, people saying, oh, well, when it gets to 10, I'm going to sell. Doesn't go to 10. And then they're left regretting it, pulls back to here, 853 or 850. That is that 100%. And so those people, when it comes down to here, then think, oh, it's not going to 10. I'm going to at least take the profits that I have here, and then it bounces and goes higher. So yeah, I could see that. And also we have to factor in this prior high over here. That was right around 750. It looks like 749. And so I've got that level there. So yeah, this could be pulling back to around 850 or 750, maybe finding support there before continuing higher. I feel like crypto is just going to, this is not crypto. I've been looking at a lot of crypto charts today. But yeah, I just think, I guess on the same note, thinking about crypto, thinking about what's going on in the stock market, I feel like we're just kind of in a pretty exciting bull market phase right now, where everything's run a bunch and some people are getting skeptical, thinking that it's going to be pulling back. I feel like things are going to keep running through December and into January, and maybe around the inauguration, which is January 20th, I believe. Maybe there's some volatility around that, whether that's to the upside or downside, no idea. But I think that we've got, it's December now, so Santa Claus rally coming up. And hey, Saul, what's up? I see your comment there. And NASCAR all out as well. And so I'm just going to read the comments here. Saul's saying, good day. BBAI, will you do a live video for ChargePoint earnings on December 4th? I was thinking about it. And that's something that I could possibly do, the ChargePoint earnings stream. It's just been, let's see, I'll pull up BBAI. That's BigBear AI. And I'll pull up ChargePoint as well. And then NASCAR has on there, what would be your strategy to make $1 million trade? I have no idea. I'm not the kind of person to be able to know about that. But what I've been doing is, I've been trading options, and I've just been trimming them at, ideally at least 20% gains, going up to most recently, I think I had 100%, but that's like individual contracts. So I'm not used to dealing with that kind of money. Maybe in a year I'll know, but right now, no idea. But one thing, I guess some things that I've been pretty confident in over the past year. I just didn't want to get too overexposed. But over the past year, let's see, I have been building up a Doge position because I was just thinking that, if it's around 10 cents, which it spent a lot of time around there last year or over this past year, that, I think it could be going to $1 a share and, $1 a coin. And so, for me, I've accumulated a good amount. I think my average is around 15 cents. But for me, a good amount is not $1 million. But I do I guess my strategy, I was just texting a friend about this, just kind of laying out an idea that I had for Doge. So basically, I something like this, whatever the price target is, whatever coin or stock, I think Doge is going to $1, but just like Bitcoin's kind of stalled out around 100,000, hasn't hit 100,000. I think it's going to go past 100,000, but it hasn't yet. Maybe it doesn't. And so I feel like Doge could have that same kind of thing right around $1, but maybe it doesn't get to $1. Maybe it gets to 90 cents. So for me, I was thinking, oh, well, what might be a good idea is take, however much Doge I have at the time, all stored in my wallet. I don't keep it on exchange. But then I might move half of it to exchange, sell a small amount once it hits around 90, just to make back what I put in, have the remainder of that in the exchange to see how it handles $1. And maybe it goes to, I don't know, $4.20 would be funny. And then I'd have the other half of that to kind of just see what happens. So I feel like kind of the best way to make a lot of money is to or what I see at least working for me and kind of the way that I manage risk. If something goes up to a level where my average is, or if it's 2x or whatever, it's 100% profit. It's I want to just be okay, well, I'm happy with that, and then walk. But maybe it, goes up twice that or more. And so, I've just been thinking with Doge that, it'd be nice to just have some to see what happens. And, while taking risk off the table. So no risk of losing money with it at that point. So yeah, I think that's the best way to take all of the risk off the table while leaving some behind to see what happens. So yeah, hopefully that little tangent on Doge was helpful. Yeah, and Saul, I see the comment about earnings day. I think I mentioned that before, but yeah. Let's see. I'll look over the ChargePoint chart in a second, and then we can think about that doing the stream for the earnings. And hey, Ricardo, what's up? Good evening. I've been pretty good. It's Thanksgiving Thursday, and I'm off work basically all of last week, and this coming week I go back to work on Friday. So I've just been, I was hoping to be productive outside, but it's been super cold. So it's been kind of like a wonky, it's ending up being a wonky couple weeks because I was expecting to be really productive, but I can't do too much. But I did do some fun Black Friday shopping, got a new TV, so I'm trying to enjoy time being entertained and whatnot, and not spending all of the time looking at charts and making videos. Trying to, I don't know, I've been a little burnt out the past couple months, but it comes and goes, And INTC. So I know that we can look it up on X, but I know that Mr. Chart Norris, I believe, was posting about Intel, or maybe somebody else was. I'm not sure, but yeah, we can look up that. And so let's see. Just following up with NASCAR, 10,000 shares times 100 equals 1 million. 10,000 shares times $100 equals. The question is, can you find stocks that are in the single digits that run to 100? Well, I mean, I feel like there's evidence of me not really being that good at that. I think that Rocket Lab and SoFi and Archer, what I just went over, are kind of good examples of, it's tough to, have confidence in the bottom and then at the bottom and then to know when that bottom is. And so I was just too cautious with both of those, and they've both gone on a rampage. But yeah, I mean, but then also with that, just 10,000 shares times $100, with that comes a lot of emotion, and everybody handles that differently. So I personally have a tough time with that. And so for me, Doge going to $4.20, that's a 10x approximately from current price. And for me, I'd be trimming that on the way up. So, yeah, so I would not be able to do what you're talking about, at least not yet. And then also, and kind of on that note, somebody, I guess, Bagel something, had requested in a comment earlier, maybe it'll show up, this stock XTIA. That's one that, seems pretty risky, but that could be going a lot higher. It has had higher lows. So, and then, follow up, but how do you average in 10,000 shares with limited downside risk? Let's see. How do you average in 10,000 shares? Yeah, so I would not be able to build up to that much. So that's too abstract of a question for me. But I mean, what I've been doing lately is just looking at options based on and trying to align them with technical levels, and then really trying to enter, just going in with options. And so with options, I think it's actually easier to make a big return faster with options. But I think that rather than looking for a 10x or whatever, you could just look for. I mean, I just traded Rivian recently, so I guess I'll pull that up real quick, and then I'll get on with the requests that were in the live chat. And let's see. Yeah, Rivian, I mean, let's just get this up. So from basically accumulating over here, and actually I started to buy up here, but very slowly. And I got my average. Actually, yeah, I have some shares, but I forget what my average is. I've just been trading options. But I think I just took 80% profit, one contract at a time, because I'm just getting familiar with them. But one contract at a time, 80%, and maybe I get filled for a 100%, but maybe not, and then I'm just holding one more contract. But yeah, I mean, going from this, extreme low here to this extreme high, that's 40%, at not even 40%. So I think that, the way to to really make big gains is by swinging options, looking at a chart, finding, multiple technical levels that line up that suggest a bottom's in. Also to see what other people think, what are other people posting about the stock that you're interested in online, and see if, hey, maybe we have similar theses and we have different approaches to getting to the same place that something's going up. And so, yeah, this went up 37%, but I was able to make 80% swinging contracts that expire in June. So, there's no real pressure with the ticking clock for the expiration. So yeah, I mean, I feel like that's the best way, but I found that seems to be a good way for me. I feel like no matter, who does whatever kind of analysis, whether it's on X, YouTube, just, chatting with friends, whatever, or, professionals like Jim Cramer, everybody does their analysis very, very differently and handles stuff very differently. So I think that's an important thing to factor in. But yeah, I'll start going over some of these requests from the live chat before continuing on with the others following Archer. And so let's see, I'm going to look at ChargePoint first, and then I'll look at BBAI. So ChargePoint, this is one that, I feel like I've been making fewer videos just because, it's like I have no idea when this is going to bottom. And it just seems like it's never going to happen. We had this double bottom here, yellow line, now we're trading below it. And so it's just like, when is this going to stop bleeding? That could be a sign that the bottom is in. When, we've lost all hope, And so, yeah, we got this horizontal, actually, that's not a horizontal line. That is a trend line based on the lows. And yeah, I should probably just draw that as a horizontal line. That's basically the lows of like 125 or so, 121, I believe, over here. 121. And so, yeah, just below this resistance. So that doesn't look so great. Yeah, below that line, below prior lows, below this uptrend. And yeah, because, this is but like, so higher low, still higher low there, and then it breaks lower. And then now this is still lower. Maybe this parallel channel that I have is, what's it based on? What pivot points? Those pivot points, yeah. So I wish it didn't extend all the way back in time, just so it can kind of like see where those points are. So yeah, it's below a lot right before earnings on the 4th. So I feel like this is probably going to go down. It has held 108, so that's good. But yeah, it's like this confluence of levels here, like right around 125. So being below that right before earnings, not so good. If on Monday and Tuesday we can get closes above 125, if we get close above, what was the high on the 25th? That was 127. So if we can get a close on Tuesday. So wait, when are their earnings? I'm just going to pull up their website. And so we can see ChargePoint Investor Relations. See this, and let's see, events and presentations. So this is after close on the 4th. And so, yeah, if it closes on the 3rd and 4th above 127, I think that looks pretty good before earnings, but it could always be a fake out. With this being just above, $1 down here, the low of 105, I feel like it could be going to 1, but at the same time, maybe there are people who are just like, it's going to 1. I'm going to load the boat at 1. And then it doesn't get there. And then it rips faces off following earnings, and those people who are waiting for one recognize their mistake, and then they FOMO in, and this goes higher to fill the gap at 169 and beyond, up to this purple uptrend. That would be really nice. So yeah, I mean, we'll have to see, but I think that 127 looks good. And I will note, Saul, if you want to join, if you're able to join live for the ChargePoint stream, I'll definitely do it. So just let me know if you want to join live, and if you can't join live, maybe I'll consider doing it anyways. So that's at 4:30. Just noting it in my notepad. Oh, wait, that's 4:30. That might be Eastern time. I'm not sure. So at 4:30 Eastern on Wednesday. Yeah, so I'm not working Wednesday, so I could potentially do that. So if you do want to see it, I definitely can do it. I am a shareholder, so I should do it. Okay, cool. Yeah, Saul, I'm 100% doing that. I'll probably put out a flyer. I'll put out the link for it maybe on Tuesday night. Maybe I'll do a video on Tuesday. Before all of that, so people can watch it Wednesday if they want. So yeah, I'll try to do that after close. Sweet. It's good for me to do, for me to be more engaged, because I am a shareholder. Okay, so NASCAR is saying, not asking me to analyze any of them, but there are 16 tickers in the chat that ran 1,000% over the past year. They probably aren't very recognizable. Holo, I've definitely gotten requests for that. And I think I've looked at Attack as well, ATAK. Kraken, yeah. So one that I think you'd like, and then maybe I'll go from there to segue into... Actually, before I do that, I should go over to Cardo's request of Intel. And oops, news popping up. And so I'll go over Intel. I'm also going to just search here on X for, I believe, Mr. Chart Norris. He's like my favorite guy. I like his posts a lot. I believe he posted on Intel recently. So just going to pull up. Yeah, so this is from November 27th. And let's see. Intel, my mistake, 1 hour candle. Intel breakout and retest on 4-hour chart is done. Chill. That was November 29th. And so, I mean, I feel like he sets up really nice charts. This is, a falling wedge here for Intel. And usually it's just like he'll post a chart, whether it's on the daily, hourly sometimes. I think more frequently he does stuff on the weekly. And, it's just like there's the setup, and I just wait for it. And a lot of actually the options plays that I'm in are kind of based on, his posts that I then investigated a little bit further, found some contracts that seem suitable. And so this is on the daily chart. Let's see, what do I have drawn on this? And just kind of considering what he has, because I think that he's, I'm still learning a lot of this stuff, kind of a novice. So it's good to check out what people got up here. So this is, I believe, the daily. So 2675, 2064 was the 2064 was the low. That has to be much shorter time frame. 2064. Yeah, that's probably hourly. 2064, there we go, got the number. So yeah, he did some analysis on the hourly. And this was he was saying here it's like a falling wedge. This is the 4-hour chart. I'm an idiot. I should have read it first. But I've got it on the 1 hour. Basically the same. I'll do 4-hour just to be the same as him, Closer to the daily. And all right. And then so breakout retest on 4-hour chart is done. Chill. 1 hour candle chart. Oh, so that was 1 hour. So I guess I was right initially. Okay, so from this, a couple of things I can do. I could do a Fibonacci extension. So like just going from the low here, 2064, up to the high here of 2669, back down to the low. We then want to look for the 100% level, and that would be at, $29, 29.13. So that's, what that suggests. And then we can also, let's see, just auto fit that again. And so what we can see, I'm not going to worry about the wedge, the bottom portion of that wedge, but I can draw, just a trend line here, getting those tops in. And actually, maybe I do want to worry about the bottom. Yeah, maybe that's a parallel. Oh. All right. So I'm just going to go from the highs there, Parallel does not work so great, but maybe I go like this, go like that, go like this. There's kind of a parallel channel there. Test the bottom. I'll fake out break below it right there. And so from this, I can do actually I can't do that. Yeah, I might just take a step back, look at this on the daily. And so I was saying 29.13. We got this gap over here. The close on August 1st was at 28.87. 28.87 marked there with a dashed thick blue line. Yeah, so I think $29 is a pretty feasible target for this. I think it could go higher. I suspect it likely will go higher. But yeah, and I don't have a position in this, but I would definitely recommend following Mr. Chart Norris. Here's his Twitter handle, X page, whatever. It's like easy to call it X, but then Twitter profile, X profile, sounds weird. But yeah, so I recommend checking his stuff out, whether it's Intel or other stuff. He does daily posts, and I find them to all be pretty helpful. Just like for considering as like a roadmap for, maybe one stock or something else. Like he posted about Alibaba recently. I don't have Alibaba, but I have NIO. Both of them are Chinese companies. And so that just kind of gave me a little bit more confidence in my analysis on NIO. So, and so let's see. And cool. And yeah, so Saul, yeah, Wednesday sounds good. I'll have the video out, ChargePoint video on Tuesday, just before earnings. Might not be too exciting, but I'll have something out on that. And then BBAI, can look at them as well. And so you got a position at 211. Okay, it's at 229. And Ricardo, hopefully that was helpful with my analysis on Intel. Let me know if you have any like follow-up questions. I can always pull up the chart again. But so yeah, okay. This is, I'm just going to look at their profiles. An AI provider of artificial intelligence. Seems like it's, totally what's happening still. Market cap is over $500 million, 574 million. So yeah, I might switch over to the weekly. Excuse me. And yeah, I mean, this looks really good with these spikes. This kind of it reminds me of cryptocurrency or something. Just trying to see, there's no reverse splits or anything. It would show me on the daily. So yeah, I mean, something that stands out, just kind of like the lows over here. Maybe I could use that as a pivot point to connect over here. Definitely being, you know, somewhat arbitrary, but just like the high over here. Because this is a weekly, so had multiple weeks, had a week close above and then below. This seems like a compelling level to me because, you know, didn't get to it exactly right here. Actually, maybe that's a way to make this more compelling. Maybe the breaks wouldn't be as bad, but then there wouldn't be this pivot point. So that's actually upsloping. So yeah, I don't think that's it. But yeah, so from this on the weekly, effectively like a double bottom here before a big move up to $16, and this was right around $4.50. And then, you know, broke below here, consolidated below, had a wick up, but then, you know, inverted hammer candle there, or inverted hammer candle, yeah. And then here, wick up to that level, fake out break above, pull back, bounce rejected from that level, which is the pivot point. So take that with a grain of salt, but also got rejected from it over here, you know, here. Had multiple tests of it. Fake out break above, and now we're getting back to it. And yeah, and so with this, we could also draw like an uptrending level. And yeah, so maybe that's like where it could be going to the downside, like $1.50, maybe if it does pull back. But what we can do from the low here to the high here and then back down, that's probably going to be, you know, just back up to the high here, because if I do draw a horizontal line from the low, that's 116 over here. Got a low of 116.5, low of 118. So yeah, I mean, that seems like a notable level that we held as support, and then a move higher. So yeah, I mean, I think that up here, 479.5, I think that's going to be a notable level of resistance. And maybe since, you know, here it's getting into, you know, where there are 2 weeks that overlap, maybe it'd be bumping into some resistance around 4. Let's say, what was the high for this week? 418, right around 420. I was going to say 420 because it's fun. Got to have fun. So maybe I'll make this one orange. So yeah, I could see this. So you said you got a position at 211. I think you could be looking at a 2x. And I do this sometimes and usually doesn't play out as I draw it. But I'll just do a little doodle, what I could see happening. Maybe it goes, oops. Maybe it goes, crap. I thought I had the stay in drawing mode. Yes, I want to stay in drawing. The text, drawing tool, there we go. But yeah, I mean, I could see it like, so from down here, you know, maybe it consolidates, forms a flag here, then breaks out, gets rejected from either like 420 or 480, somewhere around there, pulls back to find this level as support, and then, you know, and then it goes up to test 677 is the high right there. Wow, oops. Okay, I'm surprised that that held the shape so well over there. But yeah, that's 6. Yeah, and then from there, let's see here. I'll make this thick and purple. And then maybe from there, what we could see is, so from that high, then it pulls back like this, test that, and then go up to 16. So I'll do that one as blue. Yeah, and let's see, from the high here to let's see if there are any like fib levels that match up with that, just to get an idea. So from that high of 16.12 down to the low of 58 cents, pretty crazy how low it went. Oops. Let's see, 58 cents, so got that right there. And actually, you know, this is the golden pocket here, right around 10, also being like a psychological level. That corresponds with where it was over here, I guess, before it was listed. So I suspect that will act as some resistance. But if we add, let's see, the 50%, that's, you know, kind of similar to this. But that's level here, 382. That matches up with it. So I'm going to remove that 50 because I think this is a little bit more compelling. And then that 236, I bet it's going to be right around here. Yeah. So, I mean, and here, you know, following this move, it did move up to the 382. Then it pulled back, consolidated along this trend line. It tested the 236, pulled back to that trend line. And now I think that we might get another test of that 236, maybe get rejected from it again, but pull back to a higher level with, you know, basically current price acting as support right around there. And actually there's a level here. So this is the high for the week of, you know, the first week of October 2022. Got a level there. Make that thicker. I'm going to make it light blue. And so that's where we're currently at. So yeah, I mean, I could see it kind of consolidate above that level. It's 208. Break above, pull back, go higher, and then kind of repeat. So that's what I would look for. Cool chart. So hopefully that's helpful. And yeah, no problem. You're welcome, Ricardo. It's always like another reason why I feel like I've been putting out fewer videos. One, because I feel like I've kind of found something that just like works for me really well, which is just like diving into like the options data and putting out those weekly videos. And then I cover multiple stocks with it, doing kind of a technical breakdown. So I feel like that's, you know, helpful for me personally, and then hopefully helpful for viewers. But also because, I mean, I feel like it's bottom signals, but they've just been like kind of defeating me. But some, you know, definitely the majority of the comments very positive. 90% of them at least are very supportive. But then it's just like all you need is one, and you know, it's just defeating. Whether it's people's morale just being low, or you know, giving me a hard time about my videos, effectively saying that I shouldn't be making them. But, you know, literally just having fun doing this and trying to offer some more perspective. And so, you know, I don't have a drink with me tonight, just have some water. I actually, funny, I have some like orange candy and an apple juice box, because if Bitcoin hits 100K, I want to be streaming and enjoying some orange candy and being an idiot. But yeah, don't think that's happening. But anyways, yeah, I don't know. I've just gotten some comments that make me feel like, yeah, I don't know, that people have, you know, lost all conviction in the possibility of some of these stocks having found bottoms. Like Neo's one, Luminar is another that I cover frequently. Those are two that I hold. And yeah, I feel like it's just been kind of tough to be in that headspace. Also, just trying to be productive at home, and you know, also like with the channel, it's monetized, so I make a tiny bit of money with it. But in order to get there, I really had to put in like all of my time outside of work into the channel, and it's, you know, at this point in the channel's growth, it's pretty negligible. And so I just kind of realized, well, I mean, how can I add value to the channel and to myself? and for myself, and for viewers, and, rather than just going after things that are, trending or whatever, just try to go over setups. And so I effectively do that every week with the options videos. So, yeah, I hope that those are helpful. And if there are tickers that I typically cover, check those to see if they are featured, because I do add timestamps, and I think that's just, yeah, like I feel like that's a more constructive medium than just doing like trying to get an 8-minute video out, So I just more like casually talking about stuff, but also, get the same kind of thing with the ticker request live. So, but yeah, and so I'm going to scroll up to the top just to make sure that, okay, so I got ChargePoint and BBAI. I've got Intel and NASCAR's mentioning. So do you really have to find low float under the radar stocks? Many of them also have no news to justify the move, like PGHL last week went from 10 to 200 just because. So one that I feel like could be moving big just because, I was hoping that, I forget what his handle has, the word bagel in it. But he was requesting XTIA, and I was saying, this to me, if you just scroll back in time, it just looks like one that's been fading into nothing with all of these reverse splits. But, he's very convinced that, this could be really, popping off. It's around 5 cents. And so I was looking at it after Friday, maybe on Friday, just on the weekly. And I was thinking something that looks kind of nice about this is we have this low here, all-time low of 3.85 cents. And then following that low, we put in this is on the weekly chart, a bearish engulfing inverted hammer candle, followed by a spinning top with a same, thickness candle as over here. This suggests, both of these with the big wicks to the top side, that buyers aren't able to push it higher. It's getting rejected every time it goes up. People are selling, people are dumping. And then this is suggesting it's a little bit indifferent now. The wicks are not so big to the upside or the downside. It also did not get as high as over here, but just kind of consolidating. It's like a sleeping giant. And then over the past week, which was a holiday week, so take it with a grain of salt, we have another spinning top here. This is a narrower candle. Could be because of the holiday week. We have RSI at 2430 on the weekly. We have volume just continuing to decrease here. It's getting boring, getting very, very boring. And if we look, over here at these lows, we have a low of 3.85 cents, a low from 2 weeks ago of 4 cents. And then what do we have from last week? We respected that level and we put in a higher low. Even though the week was red, it was less red than it was over here. Over this week, went down 10%. Over the past week, went down 3%. This week, over here, went down 10%. This one, even though it was green, it went from bottom to top. This week, it was flat, effectively. This one was 33%. Yeah, So thinking about that, switching over to the daily. Let's see, I'll just move this over to here. Put this pivot point right there. This seems, in my view, to be fairly compelling. That we have, let's see, higher lows in the stock price, also higher lows in the RSI. So there's no divergence there. I think that this one could be moving, but I have no idea when. And it could hang out for a while and it could break lower. So this one might be, maybe one to, I don't know, You know, you risk $5 with 100 shares, maybe 1,000 shares. I don't know. An amount that one can live without. And maybe this goes up to the lows over here. That's 20 cents. That's almost 5x. That's 400%. Let's see. If I measure that from here to up here, yeah, right around 400%. So, I mean, I think this could potentially be one that's exciting, but I also think it could go to zero. It's very close to zero, and I don't know if they have anything coming up with a reverse stock split or anything like that, because 4 cents, I don't even know how they're still listed. So yeah, up here, it was $2. That was in March. So the reason why they're still listed is because, you know, in June, they were above $1. But yeah, they're going to have to do a reverse split, another reverse split again. What happened after those prior reverse splits? Here, you know, this is a 1 for 100. Came down. Let's see how much it came down from when there was that reverse split. Came down about 50% before going up about 45, and then continued down. So yeah, I mean, maybe this is one to do something crazy, but I feel like it's more than likely one that's just going to fade. Because, I mean, yeah, like this over here, this was putting in higher lows. Yeah, that, I don't know. Maybe this is one. Maybe this is something. Actually, I'm just going to do a trend line, not the little ray, because it doesn't have to be that perfect. But yeah, just connecting that low, then basically to the open here, some wicks above. Maybe that's something. Maybe it's not, though. But let's see. Yeah, lower lows here, lower lows, and yeah. So it could definitely be taken off, but it could definitely be going to zero as well. It's very close to it. The lower the price, though, the less concerning that it has so many shares. So XTIA is only 5 cent stock, but that's a lot of shares to eat through. The lower the price goes, through, the less concerning it has so many shares. Yeah, and a market cap, this is the other thing that kind of sketches me out about this one. It's less than $10 million. It's a company that makes planes, basically. Yeah, I mean, $10 million is not a lot. I mean, maybe we could look at their website. Let's look at their website. XTI Aerospace. Maybe that's something that we want to check out. XTI Aerospace. Let's just look at their website. All right, got some climbing gear there. It's about versatility. It's about range. It's about possibility. And let's see. One thing, you know, I guess I'm kind of curious about this. You know, this makes sense. The other image, fine. This one, could that be Photoshopped there? Could this be where, okay, there is, I was going to say, is there a shadow of the plane? There's a shadow of the plane. And it matches with the shadow of the boat coming from, you know, the sun being on the left of the screen. Yeah, so, I mean, anybody can create a website. How much, yeah, so it's like the shadow coming this way, shadow coming that way. So that matches. I don't know what these things are, but yeah, the fact that it's blurry, I like that, you know, it's in motion. What is this thing? True point-to-point travel, 2 aircraft in one, dual fan. Yeah, so I don't like know enough about these. So that's actually kind of nice that you can have. So I'm assuming, I'd imagine you'd, I don't know, have 2 pilots, 5 people in the back, cargo. That's cool that that thing opens. But yeah, I mean, 10 million. VLCA. What is VLCA? So, Trifon, 600. VLCAs are poised to, okay, so vertical lift crossover plane. Okay. Change the way we travel over the next decade. There's a little table. I don't know who any of these people are, but yeah, I don't know. I'm probably doing too much research into that company. And then, so let's see. Benjamin's saying XTI Aerospace Inc. develops and manufactures airplanes in the United States, Germany, and the United Kingdom. The company offers Trifon 600, a 6-seat vertical takeoff and landing aircraft. Yeah, I just had that pulled up. Let's see. But it's like, $10 million market cap, 5 cents, having traded below $1 for quite some time. I mean, maybe, but to me, I feel like this is, like trading versus gambling, and this is more like gambling. And so if that's the way one wants to do it, yeah, I think I got this alert here for 10 cents. So I might respect that. Yeah, I mean, well, 10 cents. I mean, I could get 100 shares and not care about it, and if it goes up to 10 cents, I make $5. But yeah. And so NASCAR's saying, I thought BGM might be the next 10X runner on Friday. Could be setting up for this week, possibly even an early 4 a.m. runner. And yeah, I'm just looking at the time. I've been doing this for about an hour because I do have some that I need to go over from a request from last week's video. And let's see, I'll just pull up BGM. And then I'll go over those other tickers. Let's see, BGM Group, and this is Kilian International Holdings Company. Mainly is this Chinese? Yes, that's what I was thinking. Chinese medicine derivatives, traditional Chinese medicine derivatives. I didn't realize that had an acronym TCMD, traditional Chinese medicinal derivatives. And it has the MD there. Seems, yeah. The market cap here, 63 million. So, I mean, this company has a larger market cap than the one that makes planes. And so this is 10 million, less than 10 million. And they make planes. And this one does traditional Chinese medicine derivatives. Has a market cap of 63 million. So yeah, this one, if this one has 63 million and the other one has 10 million, I'm concerned about the other one. So BGM went up on Friday, 22.5%. Yeah, I mean, this actually looks pretty good. This is on the daily. And so what I'm seeing here, and I think this is how they get you. And not that I don't think this is going to run. I think that it will. But there's this breakout here. And so actually in the video that I posted from Colin Gladman, he talked about when gaps happen like this, what, people will say, I've said this, I'm learning that, when there's a gap, wait for that to be filled. But, if the momentum is that this is going higher, then, see if this gap gets filled. If this gap does not get filled, then it's buyers holding it up above that level. And there's this break above this downtrend that's going back to the high from September 4th, multiple tests of it. Look at that. And then a gap above. Maybe this pulls back to retest it. And maybe that could be like a 20% drop coming down to like $7. But maybe it doesn't fill that gap. That gap is, let's see. Yeah, maybe it pulls back to retest that downtrend and fill that gap. And by that time, people who thought that this was going to the moon, it pulls back, they lose their conviction, and then it takes off after it retests and maybe consolidates along this line for a little while. So yeah, I think this looks really good. And something that we can do, I'm going to switch over to the weekly. So just trying to think, okay, it says a low of 178, excuse me. 178. Okay, so I'm going to do a Fibonacci extension. This is going from that low of 178 up to the high here, which was 896. So hopefully that gets lined up just right. And then I'll pull it down to the low there. 623 lined up there. So I'll just make sure that, 896, is that the high here? 896, yep. Okay, and so from this, let's take a step back, see where the 100% is. That's at $13. So, yeah, and also, this high here at 1060, pull back to 882. What was the high over here? 1032. So what I think happened, or, maybe we could go even lower here from like $9, right around there. Kind of got a double top there. This is, the high from January 30th of 2023, high of 1038, and then a high over here from February 27th, 2023. That was a high at 945. So anyways, that line drawn there right around $9. That line right around 9. And we can see that, over here almost got up to $9, got rejected, pulled back, and then have since just been consolidating following this downtrend. Moved up to that level, actually moved to a higher high to 1060, whereas over here the high was 1038. So I'll mark that as well. Why not? And so, that just makes me think, people are saying, oh, well, if it goes above that, or it's not going to go above that, just keep shorting it, have a stop loss above 1038. Those people get taken out, the shorts. Or those who think, oh, well, it's still trading below this low, I'm not going to get in until it gets above it. Then it gets above it, and then it pulls back. And yeah, so I think that just technically, and from like a psychological standpoint, I think this looks good. Makes sense to me what's happening. So maybe, it's below $9. From current price, like I said, could be coming down to $7. So I feel like that's the downside risk. Could go lower than that too. Going down to $7, that's around a 20% drop. Going back up to these highs, that's about a 20% swing to the upside. And then getting up to 1341, that's about a 50% swing to the upside. Maybe it goes higher, maybe it goes to the 1618. That is about a 100% swing from right around current price. So yeah, I think this looks really good. There's a reverse split over here. 1 for 5. Let's see, were there other reverse splits in the past? No. But a 1 for 5 would mean that if it was at $5, it would be equivalent to the prior $1. it didn't even hit $1 over here. So I feel like this was potentially done in a very responsible way rather than needing to maintain compliance to be listed on the NASDAQ and, having it go below $1 a share, reside there for a while, needing to maintain compliance. So they have to do a reverse split. They did a reverse split here, even though, actually, I'm an idiot because these prices are adjusted. So what is 1178? I'm going to pull up the calculator over here. What is 178? If I said 1178, I meant 178 divided by 5 is 35.36 cents. But yeah, I mean, this is their first reverse split. They only did a 1 for 5 when they could have done like a 1 for 10 or something like that. And following that, price is trading well above $1 a share. So that seems like it was a good move. Let's see. Price initially, pulled back some following that and then, went higher. So this just looks good to me, I would say. And let's see, yeah, from this like low here, I'm going to delete this measurement. From the low to the high, what's a level that maybe it could be pulling back to based on, Fibonacci retracement? Maybe like 50%, which I had erased from before. 1060, I'll get it right to the penny there. And get that 50% up there. 50% is around 841. So yeah, or the golden pocket comes down to like 776. The 786 at 717 would correspond with that gap fill, but I feel like it's probably not going to fill that gap. We'll have to see. And yeah, I mean, like volumes picked up here. This, just like with the lower highs here, you've got lower highs here in the RSI, then a breakout in that. This is, a higher high, whereas over here, the high was 869 on this day, or, 896. The RSI was 77.25. And just on Friday, this is the daily chart, was 72.76. So that is a lower high in the RSI corresponding with a higher high in the chart up here. So that's bearish divergence. But, if the price continues up tomorrow, the RSI would probably go above 77. But it does look like it's kind of pulling back. So, yeah, I mean, I feel like $8.50 or $8 could be nice dip buys. And thinking about this also, I was just talking about Baba and Neo. This is a Chinese company. Let's look at their options. There's no data there. There are no options. So that's one thing I don't like about this. But I think it looks good. So hopefully that's helpful. Do you think, okay, Ethereum Classic, DDG, I'm wondering why you're asking about Ethereum Classic. Do I think it hits 1,000? I have no idea, but I did post something about it. That's why I was asking. I hold some Ethereum Classic. I was holding a bag a while ago. And let's see, let's go to my profile. And I just posted this. Just saying, does Ethereum Classic 730 seem reasonable? It seems crazy to me. So basically, I had just I think I had bought some over here. I'll click on this so you can see it a little bit bigger. And I'll actually remove Ed so you can see what I drew and what I posted. And this is really just following kind of like the analysis. Colin Gladman, the Bronx Viking, they've been doing a lot of these Fibonacci extensions. Bronx Viking has been a bunch today. Doing this on the log scale. So it's the log y-axis and the log Fibonacci extension. And I could also just pull this up. I do have it in, you can't see it, but I have it in a tab. But I'll just pull up this post. 730, that's the 100%. And, for me, like I was holding the bag here. I think I probably sold at some point following this pullback, but I had just gotten used to like the price movement of Ethereum Classic. I like how easy it is to move when compared to Ethereum. That Ethereum has high gas fees. It's more expensive per coin. It's slower to move. It's more difficult to move, but Ethereum Classic, it's super fast to move. It's faster than Dogecoin from what I've experienced. The fees are super low. So I really like it. So I've accumulated a good, like a position I'm happy with. I'm sure it could be higher, but or larger, but I'm fine with what it is. My average is right around 22 cents. And so like I have a limit buy for more. Almost forgot about it, at not 22 cents, $22 to get another coin. I don't think it's going to come down there. But then I was thinking, okay, well, where do I want to sell at? $44, which, is not even up to the 382 here. It's at $59. That would be a 2x for me. Maybe I want to take half my position off there. But then it's like, well, maybe I should do one of these fib extensions to see where it could be going. And this makes me think that, prior highs were 175. Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty big swing. So, yeah, like I'm just curious. I'm just going to divide. I need to pull up the calculator again. I closed it. All right, so I got my little calculator. And so let's see, 175 times, divided by 22. That's an 8x. So that's pretty nice. I'd be stoked with that. But maybe it goes past this in alt season, after Bitcoin's taken a break. I think that Bitcoin's just like consolidating before 100,000. And then I think there's just going to be like, the memes, the guy, pump it. And once Bitcoin crosses 100,000, it's just going to launch through it. Because there are just like so many people probably like, oh, I don't know if it's going to go to 100,000. And then when it gets there, they're like, oh, it's going there. I'm going to buy more. And then it just rips faces off. So, and once Bitcoin settles down, dominance dies down, then it moves into alts. So yeah, I mean, I could see this going above 175. And so let's see, 730. Let's just say, let's just do 730 divided by 22. Damn. That's huge. That's crazy. I'd be so happy if that happened. But yeah, I don't know. I think that from this, I think that 730 is possible. I'll pull up the chart here, that I had just drawn that on. I'll add one more level to it. And Benjamin, I see your comment about Blink. I'll definitely go over it in just a second. But let's see. I'm going to add the 1618, and I'll leave it as red because maybe that's getting a little greedy. That's going up to 9,000. So yeah, I don't know if well, cool. I just undid that. Sweet. So yeah, I mean, I think going to 1,000, maybe that would be like, and this is on the log scale on the y-axis here, just so in case you're wondering if the chart looks a little weird. But yeah, I think that there might be people saying, oh, it's going to 1,000 just because it's, got 3 zeros there, moving into the 4 digits place. People probably have a lot of cells placed there. Maybe it stops out around 730. And so people waiting for 1,000 get left holding the bag. 730, man, that's crazy. Kind of makes me want to throw up thinking about if I held my position to that high. But yeah, I mean, this is like, I think this is the first like Bitcoin crypto bull market that I was like prepared for in like how I manage risk and all of that, and debt under control, all of that. So yeah, I'm pretty, dude. I'd feel my mind would be blown if this went to 730. I'm just gonna actually do a little bit of private math just to see how much my position will be worth. So let's see. Ooh, yeah. So 730. Dude, not. I wouldn't say life changing, but like year changing, which would potentially be life changing if I was not stupid with it. So that's pretty crazy. Yeah. So and I think that's kind of what crypto's all about. Life changing money. Dude, and I'd settle for year-changing money. But yeah, Ethereum Classic, though, this is one that, I don't want a diamond hand. Dogecoin, I'd feel more comfortable. I'd feel less comfortable than ETC, but I feel comfortable selling that over Bitcoin. But yeah, I might actually just do the same type of very simple analysis, but just with Dogecoin, looking at it on the, I got basically the same thing done here. Yeah, I'm going to remove those drawings just because they're like rainbow, and I don't really like them like that. Just too much going on. This is, y-axis is logarithmic. You can't see it, but behind me it's not regular. It's logarithmic. And so for Doge, oh my God, this just, I don't know. At some point, it's not going to go higher. The high over here around 74 cents. This is going to make me feel sick because I have a good amount of Doge. And I was thinking about managing risk, taking a good amount off the table, and then leaving a good amount on the table. And so this just being approximate, but that, you can see that what I've drawn there. So let's see what the $32. Dude, I would throw up if it went up to $32. But this is a good point. I think one, it needs to have a plan for. Good to leave some for if in case. And so I'm just going to do some more private math just to see how much what I would leave would be worth. Dude, oh my God, I want to throw up. It went up to 32. Let's see. I feel like a fun level for it to go up to, maybe 420. That'd be fun, but maybe it stops out around 350 or so, 330, the golden pocket there. And so let's see, just doing some more. I know the answer to this. I'm an idiot. So, yeah, that would not be life-changing money here. But that's 3. Then a 10x. That's crazy from there. And another thing that we could do, we can draw. Sorry, I'm just like having too much fun with crypto. I will go over Blink in a minute. But let's see. Okay, so we got, pivot point here. Wait, this is parallel? Okay, so I want to do the low here. Is that right? Yeah. Oh, crap. All right, so parallel, being approximate, low here. This is on the log scale. And the, the high over there. And so, yeah, crap. Like, this is the intersection here, April. on the log scale. So let's switch this over to linear. And things are going to look a little more tame. So on the linear scale, this has it going up to 80 cents. And that parallel channel that I drew is here, apparently. So yeah, let's switch it back to the log scale, because that's more fun to look at. Oh, I gotta... And this is the weekly. Yeah, so that's crazy. If Doge hits $32, I will throw up in the next year. That will happen. That'd be crazy. But yeah, I'm going to get back to stocks. So Benjamin was asking for Blink, so I'll throw that up here and go over it. And then also I see Matt was saying, pleasure to be here. Thanks for sharing your insights and your time. Yeah, no problem. Happy to do it. And also I have to say, thanks to you guys for hanging out. It's fun to talk about this stuff. I don't know how you guys are with stocks, the market. I don't really have too many people in my life personally that do this kind of stuff. I have some people that invest, I would say, but not people who get in as into the charts as I do. Or, you know, they've like started to have families, so they're not as into this as they used to be. When they come back, that'll maybe be a topping signal though. So it's good to have those indicators. But yeah, I mean, for me, it's like, this is kind of just a nice, you know, I feel like, you know, with the microphone here, you know, doing a video being recorded, some of this is a performance. You know, I'm not like, I think I can talk a lot, but I don't think I'm that talkative a person. And this is kind of a nice way to, I don't know, perform as me or just be me, whatever it is. And yeah, so I mean, thanks for hanging out. I appreciate it because, you know, it goes both ways. Like I view it as, you know, just two or however many buddies at a bar chatting about stocks, chatting about crypto. And so, you know, I really appreciate it. A lot of stuff you know, I need to start working on this, but I just get overwhelmed with stuff, and then I don't. I was thinking about doing a video. Benjamin, I know you've talked to me about travel and stuff like that. I was at least planning on putting together some photos and stuff, some of my travels. And then I was thinking maybe for like a Christmas video, I could do that, but I should start putting together photos now just to tell stories about some of the cool places I've been. And then if you guys, you know, are interested in that, you know, I could do periodic videos on going into some of the more details of those stories. Because I've done some things that most people will probably never do, and I've done multiple of those things. So some of the stories might be kind of cool, and the stories are based around effectively around education, the education that I got, and also just I think kind of the way that I live my life. I'm kind of I don't know, I'm a searcher, you know, and you know that's kind of what I'm doing with the channel, trying to figure out, you know, how this stuff works. I'm going to delete this retracement because we're below it and we went higher than it. I think that it's nice. It's encouraging that we got a bounce from this light blue. I love that color line. I'm going to make it a little thicker so it's easier to see. And so that's, you know, based on a pivot low from March. And I should note, I sent Ed away. I got to bring him back. So we could see bounce here, break below it. Here, this is a higher low, so I think that's good. This could be a bear flag, though. Excuse me, big wicks to the top side. That is a lower low, though. What was the low over here? 153. But this could also be, you know, one of the things, it's so funny, like how I feel like there's so much psychology built into the markets, how do we trick people? And so this could be could be a bear flag. So definitely still caution to the downside because we did put in a lower low on November 20th at a low of 148 marked there, lower than the low from September 9th, which was $1.53. But we didn't, go crashing through it. We started consolidating around there. And now, following having put in that low of 148, I'm just going to do a little trend line so it's not so formal as a ray. We're putting in higher lows, following that trend line. Couple wicks below, little pierces of it, but no closes below. And so I think that could be a bottoming signal. We look at the MACD, it switched to red here, and it's starting to turn around. It would be nice if it was like more aggressively swooping in to be zero, with that histogram number that's over here, right around zero, to be positive. Because it seems like it's kind of like averaging out around zero. So maybe it could be a little bit more negative, meaning the stock price could come down a little more, and then maybe form a double bottom. So I'd keep an eye on, let's see. What's useful for me is to not overuse alerts, but this is one where, and when alerts go off, to delete them and or reassess, but not just turn them off. So below 148, I'm going to delete this one that's below 5 because we're beyond that. So 148 got an alert there, but we've been putting in these higher lows. So maybe we come back to 153, test that, and then go higher. Other things that stand out, following the down moves, volume seems like it's settled out some. So, yeah, I think it's like, I don't know. I just caution because there is this consolidation here. It could be a bear flag. I feel like I'm really bad at knowing that, recognizing when the bottom's actually in or when it's a bear flag, because hope is always mixed into it. I hope this doesn't go lower, but I think 153 and 148 are levels to pay attention to. If it goes off down to 148, I'll be alerted. But yeah, this to me kind of makes me think like retail is probably thinking it's a lower low, it's looking bad, it's consolidating, that's a bear flag, but it's putting in higher lows. And so with that being said, let's continue to put in higher lows. There are no gaps here. We see volume cooling off here as it's consolidating. Maybe it's waiting for a rip. Here, volume was cooling off, consolidating, then a pump on volume, it goes up. Consolidates, volume cools off. I'm really not the best at interpreting volume, so take it with a grain of salt. And then we also have the RSI at 42. It's not even at the midpoint, 50. So I think this could be going higher. If I do a retracement to where it might be bumping into resistance, do a retracement from the high here of 232 down to the low of 148. I'll make that light blue. Maybe I'll make it yellow. And so from that, we got rejected from the 236. So like 169, let's say, let's have fun with it. And let's see what was the high on the 25th, 170. But then the 50%, and actually the golden pocket here, right around $2, would correspond with this gap fill. Maybe I should mark that gap. That's based on the close when they had earnings on November 7th. That was at a price of 201, and I got that marked correctly. Just going to make that a thick dashed blue line. So we got that kind of for reference. corresponding with the golden pocket. So levels that I might leave, I think I'll probably leave the 382. Well, I think I'll probably just leave all of those. But maybe I'll not make it yellow. It's just, see, it's so intense. And so instead I'll color some of these other levels. You know, maybe light blue, just make them a little bit more calming, you know. Over here, maybe I'll make this green because it's like, that strikes me as a potential bottom down there. And then, yeah, this trend line, that's casual, so just leave that. So yeah, I mean, I could see this going up to $2, but I think that would be a level to then like reassess. But if it goes below 153, even a wick below, that's then, I think, not looking so great. So keep an eye on that, and definitely going below 148. That's putting in a new low. 52-week, an all-time low is 148. And maybe this will respond to ChargePoint earnings if that gives kind of an outlook for the sector that's good regarding like the new administration, like Elon Musk's involvement with it. Maybe that's, you know, great for Tesla, but maybe it's also good for the other charging stations. And, you know, one of the things that, you know, I learned about this by watching the or listening to the Joe Rogan episode when Chamath Palihapitiya was on it. And also I watched some of the All In podcasts. Chamath is one of the 4 guys on there. And he was talking about with Joe about, you know, Starlink and how the government had a contract with, or they had, you know, subsidies or, you know, something to promote getting internet connection to rural areas. And Starlink took, you know, was, you know, contracted for it, as far as I understand, for, I forget how many, I think billions of dollars, or maybe it was millions, I'm not sure, but a lot of money. And they were then, you know, removed from it, and lines were then laid, cables were laid to go that route. Whereas Starlink is, you know, like a leapfrog technology, just like, you know, with landlines, with phones at home, you don't need to do that anymore if you're a developing country, or, you know, in the case of, you know, somebody living in a rural area where you don't have internet lines in the ground, which, you know, I don't live in that rural of an area. I live in Iowa in the Midwest, but I don't live in the country, and I didn't grow up there or anything, so I'm not too familiar with what that kind of connectivity is like, or limited connectivity is like. And, you know, however, I think it's like 400, I could look this up. Let's see, Starlink government contract, rural. Okay, so to Starlink. Okay, so yeah, this is from October 7th. I could have actually probably just asked Grok. I'm new to Twitter Premium, and actually having an appreciation for how to use AI. I'm still learning how to use it, but I could have just searched this here. So probe FCC decision to deny Starlink nearly $900 million. And House committee said on Monday its investigation of the Federal Communications Commission's decision to deny SpaceX satellite internet until Starlink roll broadband subsidies. The FCC said in December, reaffirming its position that the decision impacting Elon Musk's SpaceX company was based on Starlink's failure to meet basic program requirements, and that Starlink could not demonstrate it could deliver promised service after SpaceX had challenged the 2022 decision. House Oversight Committee Chair James Comer, a Republican, asked the FCC in a letter Monday to turn over documents by October 21st on the decision. The committee seeks to ensure the FCC followed. Actually, I don't even know why I'm going off on this because I was talking about Blink. Oh yeah. So how this connects to it, because I don't need to get into the nitty gritty details. I was going to say nitty ditty. It's like, that's not right. Yeah, but I think there was something about something has not been done. Anyways, I could search for it, but well, let's see. I will just search here using Grok. These are some images that I was creating. And so let's see. Okay. So what did Chamath, how do you spell his name? Chamath. Okay, so I'll Google how to spell it and then I'll paste that here. What did Chamath Palihapitiya say about rural Starlink government money waste during Joe Rogan podcast? So, during his appearance on the Joe Rogan Experience, Chamath Palihapitiya discussed the issue of government spending on rural broadband projects, particularly contrasting it with the capabilities of private sector solutions like Starlink. He expressed a view that there's a significant waste in government initiatives such as the $42 billion project aimed at improving rural broadband access. Palihapitiya highlighted that private companies like Starlink could potentially provide a more efficient and cost-effective service. He mentioned being desensitized by the amount of waste, indicating that a broader critique of how government funds are managed, suggesting that even $50 billion might not shock him anymore due to the scale of inefficiency he perceives. This perspective was shared in the context of discussing technology advancements and government efficiencies, where he argued for a reevaluation of how funds are allocated to potentially achieve better outcomes with less waste. And so effectively, I think that $42 billion went elsewhere, and they haven't really had any notable connections, if any. And so I'll just follow up with this. Can you provide a source for the $42 billion project? Let's see. Can you provide a source for the $42 billion broadband project? Can you provide a source for the $42 billion broadband project? I'll include proposal because maybe that's helpful. This is checking sources. Can you provide a source for the source for the $42 billion broadband project proposal is the Broadband Equities Access and Deployment Program, which was part of the 2021 Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. Here are some relevant citations. The program was announced by the White House, and details were provided on how it would distribute funds to states for broadband expansion. And that looks like it's a link. Biden-Harris administration announces state allocations for $42.45 billion high-speed internet grant program as part of Investing in America Agenda and Broadband USA. So there's, a link there. Very cool. I'm new to using Grok like this. And then, here this is a letter, I guess, further details, state allocations, and the program's objectives. And so I'm just going to like that. I think this is super cool, really nice resource. And so I guess, what I was trying to get at with this is that, there's a lot of government waste. And whether it's something like connecting rural areas with broadband or developing the EV charging station network throughout the country, my understanding, which I could search on Grok, but let me know if you guys want me to, because I think this is pretty cool. Just, learning like this. But, let's see. Yeah, I should never add context to what I'm talking about. I should just keep talking about it. But, in developing like the EV charging station network, the infrastructure throughout the country, I feel like the government has not been a good performer of that, has not been a good executor, but Tesla has. And I think part of that is not just specifically Tesla as a company, but also Elon as someone who pushes those boundaries. And considering the fact that he has open patents, doesn't want to slow down progress, wants to accelerate it, an acceleration of amplifying, extending, improving the EV charging station network grid in the US would be to open the floodgates, not just for Tesla charging stations, but also ChargePoint, also BLNK, also EVgo. And so I think that with the new administration, while you might think that Democrats are going to be more pro-EV versus Republicans. I mean, look at, Elon, for example, was Democrat, switched to Republican. He's clearly pro-EV. And I think that there is, a real business incentive. I think it's good for the country for us to be building upon that. And so I think that the new administration could actually be very good for EV charging stations, EVs, across the board, not just benefiting Tesla. So I think that there's a lot of potential for EV charging stocks, maybe not into year end, but I think that we could be very well near the bottom. So hopefully that's hopeful. Kind of a long rant and tangent, but so I will catch up on the comments and so DDG was following up on Ethereum Classic, that it's program gold. Ethereum Classic equals Bitcoin plus Ethereum Classic. For me, I feel like it's like Doge and Ethereum because, I don't know. As far, I guess, from being able to move it, like Doge is so easy to move, Ethereum Classic's even easier to move. It's easier to move than Bitcoin. But yeah, I mean, I think that Ethereum Classic I like, and I will throw up if it hits, 730, and I will also throw up if Doge hits 32. I will not film that, but I think that will probably happen. Or I'll just get lightheaded. I don't know. Let's see. So Benjamin is saying, please also share my thoughts on TECX. And Benjamin also follows up with, I have a piece of land that I have in Trinidad and Tobago that I would like to sell to Starlink. I wonder how Starlink would use land. I don't know how they do that, but yeah, you should do that if you want to, or whatever way is good to benefit from that. But I'm actually, because I've forgotten before, Disclosure Crypto, I was requesting for GariNetwork, so I will add that. I feel like the last time I talked about it, I was probably cautioning about it pulling back, but thinking it could still run, going, either way, giving both scenarios. And I think the very next day it pulled back massively. I imagine it's up now from there, but I am just going to add TECX onto the list, and then I will switch over to over here. I was just talking about Doge, and yeah, let's see. I will pull up GARI, which is, was I looking at it on Kraken before? I imagine so. Yeah, I got the drawings over here. Cool. I'm glad this is up. Nice. Yeah, it's got to be up. I don't know when the last time I talked about it was, but this is, what's the y-axis? This is logarithmic. I'll first look at it on the linear, but I feel like log's probably going to be the way to go. I'm going to delete this retracement because I could probably do something better. This is the weekly. Let's look at the daily. Oh yeah, so it went up here, pulled back a bunch, and so now it's, yeah, moved up. And so, yeah, what I could do, what I've been, where is the lowest low? This is low, then it goes up there, and then it pulls back down to here. So assuming that's the bottom, following that big move up, and I'm going to do this, I'll do it regular, and then I'll switch over to log. No, I'm going to switch over to log, because that's how the Bronx Viking has been doing this. So yeah, I mean, there are two ways I can do this. I can do it from the low over here up to the high over here, and then down to the low there. And so the golden pocket is returning to that recent high. Golden pocket is the 618 up to the 65%. And then the 100%, which is effectively, a measured move. So taking the measurement from the bottom here, up to, I'm just going to line it up over here so it's a little box I can move easily. Effectively going up to that high. And then, oops, crap, man. didn't want to do it like that. So right around there. Okay, so I can measure it like, so from here to the top there, that's an increase of, it looks like, about 2 cents. And so if I do the same thing, but over here, an increase of about 2 cents should bring me to right around here, which that's actually, sorry, I stuttered there a little. That's actually about 3.5 cents. So I want to move that measurement, but I can't. Maybe text, let's see, measurement tool, annotation. Measure, shift, click on chart. Oh, okay, so, oh crap. So, okay, cool. I can just do that quickly. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, because it hasn't pulled back. I'm not sure. But anyways, going up to like 4 cents, maybe that's what's happening. So that's what I would look for. This is on the log scale. And if I do this on the linear, that would be around 3 cents. And my understanding of how people have been charting this, namely the Bronx Viking, he was using the log scale. So yeah, maybe 4 cents. And looking at the history over here, it could be getting up to the, wow, the 2618. I meant to have that drawn as the 1618. So I kind of screwed that up on whatever I was showing before. Was it Doge? No, it was Ethereum Classic. I think it was Ethereum Classic. Gosh. I'm going to legit be sick if these things go up that high. But yeah, this is like, it doesn't have as much history, so it's kind of tough to say where it might be going. Maybe we can draw a parallel that might suggest where it could be going. Just being kind of approximate from these highs. And then connecting to the low here. I mean, it looks like it's about the midpoint of that channel. And maybe I don't want to do it like that. Maybe like this. Maybe like that, and move this up there. That's kind of compelling, I think. Got this like double bottom, triple bottom here, multiple tests up there. And let's see, getting up to that 100% will be testing effectively the top of that channel, maybe breaking out a little bit. So yeah, I say that this could be going to 4. And then I think it could be going beyond, but I'm just going to stick with 4 for now. And then I will look at TECX, and then I'm just going to go over the ones that were previously requested. I've been doing this for about an hour and 50 minutes, so I'll try to wind down after right around 2 hours. So the TECX daily chart. This is a Tectonic. Therapeutics Incorporated is a biotechnology company. The company is focused on the discovery and development of therapeutic proteins and antibodies that modulate the activity of G protein-coupled receptors, or GPCRs. Leveraging its technology platform called GEODE, which is GCPRs engineered for optimal discovery, the company is focused on developing biological medicines that overcome the existing challenges of GPCR targeted drug discovery and harness the human body to modify the course of disease. The company's lead program, TX 000045 or TX45, is a FC relaxin fusion molecule that activates the, I have no idea what any of this means, by the way, RXFP1 receptor, the GPCR target of the hormone relaxin. TX45 is being evaluated in phase 1A, 1B clinical trials as potential treatment for Group T pulmonary hypertension with heart failure with preserved ejection fraction, or HFEF. Its second program addresses hereditary hemorrhagic telangiectasia, or HHT. In all honesty, a lot of that was over my head, and I feel like that makes me a little concerned because there are a lot of very complicated things in there, and I would have appreciated, as an investor, as someone who is not a therapeutics master or biotechnology master, I would have liked something that, the layperson could understand, and that is way too complicated. So that makes me a little concerned because I have no idea. I'd like to know more, and I don't. The market cap is $734 million, so it's not small, so that's good. Trading around $50 a share. Maybe there's some concerning things here because we have, let's see, a higher high. This is on the daily. And notice how this wick pierces that line just barely. I don't know if you guys can see that, but just right there. And in that same time frame, what do we have with the RSI? Could be nothing. Could be nothing. But what we see with the RSI is lower highs so far. We would need to see it getting above 80, 80.8, in the RSI, which is currently around 69.36, in order for us to be seeing higher highs in the RSI to negate the bearish divergence that we see, which is higher highs in the stock price, lower highs in the indicator, which here is the RSI. So this could be putting in some topping signals, and let's kind of think about what are some other topping signals that we might be seeing, what we might be looking at. One is that we have, this big wick to the upside here, a big wick here as well. We had a high over here on November 13th at 48.63, 48.63 mark there. And we went higher than it, but then closed below. But then finally, we actually got two closes above that level. So that, to me, as far as I understand it, is like confirmation that price is going to hold this level. And it's this level here where it got rejected, and then here it reclaimed it. And so I would look to see how it respects 48.50. Here it's marked at 48.63, which was the high from November 13th. If it pulls back, because there's this confirmation, as far as I understand it, this should be acting more like support, and it should bounce. But if it breaks below it, then this is resistance, but it may not be major resistance if it just dips below. Maybe it's a discount before it goes higher. But, there is that bearish divergence. So I think that this is a little bit concerning. And if we look at, let's see. Where's the low over here? Okay, well, there's a big gap. I wasn't seeing it because I guess I drew some. Probably should have redrawn some of the stuff. There's a big gap up here. Crazy. Don't know what happened, but the low from over there was 15, it looks like. 15, okay. And so from there, this is going to be looking crazy. But if I do a Fibonacci extension from that low of 15 up to the high here and then down, where might price be going? This is going to be crazy. The 100% is at $71. Actually, that's not too crazy. This actually did pull back to bounce from, where there was prior resistance, now support at 37.50. That was the low from November 18th. And so we have, this level here corresponds perfectly with that. Make that a little thicker, make it light blue. So yeah, and I wonder too if I could do just a regular Fibonacci retracement from the low of 15 up to that high. And then it came back to between the 236 and the 382. But yeah, I think that this looks, if there was a close below 48.50, I'd be concerned. Or close below, let's say 48.69. I'd be a little bit concerned. But these wicks to the upside, MACD looking like it's starting to switch green. Let's see. Although this bearish divergence, this was higher over here. So this is continuing. It's not... did go above this line here a little bit, but over here on the November 7th, the RSI's high was 83.09. Over here, 91.45. So been putting in lower highs in the RSI, whereas higher highs in the stock price. And so let's see. I don't really like how channels are over here, but I can draw a parallel channel. Like that. I don't know, that's useful. Yeah, I'm not sure. But I think that there are some signs that suggest this could be putting in a top, pulling back. But also, that could be just like fake out signals because there are other things that look good about it. So yeah, I'd keep an eye on between basically 48.50 and 48.70. Don't really want closes in that range or below. So hopefully that's helpful. ALT stock. So let's see. I have, okay, so I've done GARI. So hopefully that was helpful. Disclosure Crypto, Real Talk, ALT. I'll pull that up. And then it's over 2 hours, so I'm not going to do any more requests. ALT is ALT. Altimmune. So I'm going to try to go through this quick, and then I'm going to wrap up with the other ones I was supposed to start with. So this looks good. The reason why it looks good is because, you know, big move up and then consolidation here, and it looks like it's broken out from just like drawing a trend line from like the high here to the high there. That looks like it broke out. Another way this could be demonstrated is just like, you know, parallel. I guess this is kind of arbitrary, but maybe that's something. But yeah, I mean, this is looking good, and this could be like the neckline. So consolidating here would be nice to before a breakout. This also, looking at it like this with this parallel channel here, this looks like it's kind of ugly, but there could be, you know, from something like this, inverse head and shoulders pattern there. So yeah, it's got some resistance above it, but I think it looks good over here. Looks like it's broken out and just like pulling back, retesting. So yeah, I think that it might be going back to 11.16, but maybe it's going to retest this downtrend. I'm not really sure. But yeah, I'm not going to elaborate too much on it because I'm getting tired, and so I'll probably misspeak. And so I will go to the other tickers I was going to start with, which were the Aerospace ones. So I had gone over ACHR initially, and yeah, this just looks really good. But I think I was saying that it could be coming back to like 850 or 750. It's kind of my thoughts. Retesting that before, maybe continuing higher. EVTL, let's look at that one. This, you know, has had a very nice move up to the highs here of 1040. Hit a high on Friday of 1036. So that looks good. High of, yeah, 1036. And so let's see. So, just trying to think. Is there like a parallel channel or something? That looks pretty nice, I think. Got, just being approximate with the lows, but it did bounce here from that. And this, has the pivot point over here. And, there's some consolidation around that. Nothing in the past. But, yeah, it looks like it's potentially getting rejected there, but potentially going higher. So I'd look for it to hold 10 EVTL. Also kind of a psychological level. Yeah, but that seems like a level where there's going to be a lot of resistance right around 10, being psychological on this trend line. So I'd keep an eye out for that, and maybe a cool off to, I don't know, 950. I'm not, that's not too much lower. Maybe like 850, because like from there, it's kind of like consolidation below that, consolidation below that. There's also kind of like a inverse head and shoulders there. And yeah, so I think around, I guess that's 819, between 8 and 850. Maybe that's a dip buy level. And then Joby, I'll go over that, and then I'm going to close this down because I'm tired. So Joby, yeah, this one I was talking about it over here, has really taken off from this downtrend. It's definitely broken out. Maybe it pulls back to test some of this. So, for this, with such a big move, I'm going to be a little bit more cautious. And so maybe like the highs here, that's around 769. That was the high. Yeah, 769. So maybe it comes back to that. Maybe it comes back lower to test this. I don't think it's going to retest this purple downtrend. 769, that could be a pullback level. But yeah, I think this looks good. I think it could be heading up to test right around 12. The high over here was 1198, where that's marked. So that could be continuing to go up higher. But yeah, I'm just going to leave it at that. And I think, Vaz, I believe it was you who requested this, if you'd like me to elaborate more on Joby or EVTL, just because I kind of brushed over them, let me know, and maybe I could put out another video on them just to elaborate a little bit more, maybe be a little bit cleaner, be less tired when I talk about them. But yeah, after these big moves, I think cool-offs would be good and healthy. And then continuation seems, possible. And then also here, there's this other level over here. So it's kind of like pulling back to these two levels of resistance. That could be, some very nice support. So if it does pull back $1, $2, somewhere around there, that could be a nice dip buy before it goes higher. XTIA, I went over it earlier. Mr. Bagel, I did mention you. But yeah, I'll go over it real quick, but then I'm going to close this down because I am tired. And so I actually quite extensively went over it. I probably had a decent ramble about it. But yeah, I was just thinking that really, if I remove the drawings, put it on the weekly, what I see over the past month is that this was the low of 3.85 cents. That had a big wick to the top side, suggesting that there are a lot of sellers keeping the price down, holding it down. Then there's a bearish engulfing candle the following week. Again, big wick to the top side, sellers pushing it down. Then there's a spinning top. The volume of the candles, or the height of it, is about the same as it was the week before, but there's no giant wick to the upside. So that suggests that buyers are calming down because they just keep getting pushed down by the sellers. But this is starting to suggest more like indecision because there's not really a direction to it. And then over last week, got to take it with a grain of salt because it was a shorter week with the holiday and stuff, less volume. But the candle smaller, still spinning top. And the wicks to the bottom the past couple weeks are larger than the wicks to the top. and also putting in higher lows here. And so that's effectively what I have on the chart. If I switch over to the daily, we can see that we've been putting in higher lows, so I think that's looking good. But we did just get rejected from this trend line, which is going back to the low from October 14th. Have had a number of wicks attempt to or go above that, but no closes above it. The highest candle that we got to it was just some opens, no closes around it. But yeah, I mean, I think that this could be breaking out. I think it could be ripe for that kind of move, but it also could be going lower. And so I was talking about, if one was to get like 100 or 1,000 shares, that's risking, between less than $5 or less than $50. And maybe this could go up to 10. That's a nice little trade there. But maybe it could be going up to 20 cents. Again, a nice little trade there. But just looking at the long-term history, I think it looks a little bit risky. So I feel like this is a gamble, not really a trade. But, with that being said, if one was to gamble on this, one could have a stop loss at the prior all-time low, which was 3.85 cents, or maybe just maybe a little bit lower than that. I don't know. And that's risking, I think it's like a 20% downside. Let's see, what is that to the downside? 14 cents, 15 cents, so 20%. 20% would be to around like 3.59 cents, or maybe do like 3.69 is fun. Maybe that's a stop loss level. And then maybe this breaks down lower, but maybe it goes higher. And so I'm just going to catch up on the comments, but then I'm going to log off because I've been doing this for over 2 hours. So, yeah, no problem, Mr. Bagel. Let's see. Keep in mind that this was INPX before a QSIP change. Really, it's a brand new company. DD suggests a good corporate structure, and they are attempting to and actually meeting FAA regulations. All good. Press for them anyway. Very risky, but it's only been listed since March, I think. So let's see. At least with the data that I have in Webull, goes back to, March. Yeah, so, and also, aside from, prior history and stuff of it, just the market cap being 10,000, I was looking up a traditional Chinese therapeutics, medicine company. And, I think that would require less capital than, an aerospace company. And that one has like, I think a 60 or $70 million market cap, whereas this one's 10 million. So just a little bit risky there. But yeah, I think as long as managing the risk, stop loss level here with that prior all-time low of 3.85 cents. And then maybe, this could be running up to 10 cents. But I think for me, I think maybe months ago, I probably would have done something like whether it's 100 shares or 1,000. But I've just been trying to not get spread so thin, because maybe I put, get 1,000 shares, put like $50 basically, and maybe it just trades sideways for a month. There's just $50 sitting on the side. I've really been liking what I'm doing with options. Does this one have options? I imagine not. Does not have options. So yeah, this one's not for the style that I've been trading recently, which has been working for me. But I could definitely see this as being at a point of breaking out technically. So yeah, I mean, I hope that's helpful. I think it's like, as long as that risk is managed, as long as the expectations are appropriate, like it could, like, I feel like a upside target around 20 cents. I feel like that's reasonable to like really go all out. But I think 10 cents right here could be some resistance over there with this consolidation. But yes, I'll just read your last comment, and then I'm going to sign off. So if you read their chart, the old time before March is where they were INPX. Okay, so, but yeah, I mean, either way, like whether I'm looking at it or not. So March, let's see, well, March is, yeah, like over here. So this reverse split, March 13th. But still, I mean, even from there, coming down from 5, that's a pretty big drawdown. So, and yeah, so literally almost bought thousands of FFIE the night before it popped. Never did, though. I ain't gonna miss this one, bro. Yeah, I mean, if you gotta do it, then you gotta do it. I'll just pull up FFIE to see if it's been moving recently, but I imagine you're talking about yeah, when it was over here. So yeah, there are always going to be what ifs, and the what ifs are a recipe for digging a grave, I think, because what if I held on for longer and became a billionaire? And then, you know, every time you hold on, then it just goes to zero or something. So, but yeah, I mean, with managing risk, I think that XTIA could be a winner. And so I just keep an eye on that prior all-time low, 3.85 cents. But with that being said, I am going to throw this up because, you know, that's how I tend to end my videos. So, you know, just been sharing my thoughts. If you found them helpful, make sure you like the video. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. And if you, you know, always share your comments, your thoughts in the live chat or the comments. And if you have not liked the stream already, please make sure you do. Hopefully you like the thumbnail, just having some fun with Grok. And yeah, I am going to be putting timestamps on this because I told, I think, Vaz that I would do that. And then I'm going to go to bed. So we start tomorrow in good shape. And so Mr. Bagel's saying, microcaps, I only invest in what I believe in. The Trifan plane is awesome. I'm glad you have conviction there. And we'll have to see where it is a week from now, because I feel like it's maybe, you know, these lines could be fudged a little bit, but I feel like it could definitely be heading up to 10 cents in the next week, or alternatively, it could be breaking below 3.85 cents. So if I was trading it, that would be my stop loss level. But I already have more positions than I'd like to, so, or than what my strategy is, so I will sit on the sidelines. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining, and I hope that the normal week of trading is an exciting one. I think it's going to be a good one. So take care, you guys. Good night, and